All right, everyone, welcome back to the Freeman Focus Podcast. I'm your host, Mariano. Before we jump in today, I want to give a quick sponsor shout out to What the Snark, located in Wild Rose, Wisconsin. What the Snark specializes in custom apparel, hats, hoodies, decals, and branded gear, all designed and produced locally in Wild Rose. So if you're looking to elevate your brand, be sure to check them out. Now, today I'm joined by Doug Sessler from Crystal Wood Lake Supper Club this is Westfield, correct?
Yes. Yep. It's
Over in
Westfield.
Westfield. And 89 years from what I was told. So there's a legacy behind this one. So I'm really excited for you to talk about this story. So without further ado, Doug, why don't you take it away from here and let's dive into this.
All right. Well, thank you for reaching out to us. Crystal wanted to be here, but we're working through some things and she's taking care of that part of it. So I'm here at the restaurant getting ready for Easter, basically. But yeah, the history of this place goes back to 1937. It was originally opened. It had a dance floor upstairs where they had country dances and polkas and whatever else. And then they basically opened it up as like a chicken shack is what it originally
Okay.
was, is where they specialized chicken. So they opened up January 1, 1937. And many families have raised their families here. Legacies of, the Kilbys that, you know, Sandy ran it for years back in the 80s. Clibers were before that. I mean, there's just so many great names of people that have put their heart and soul into this building. So not really sure when it became the name changes and all that, but up until we took it over, it was always known as Wood Lake Resort. Some of the pictures I sent you showed the old, I'd say they're not much bigger than a chicken coop for rentals, but there was two rentals down here on the lake, very like two season, most of them didn't have heat, most of them didn't have air. So there have been over the years, they were sold off and been rebuilt and remodeled last year. A great customer of ours, Rob from Meridian Nursery, he bought the last place, which it's a very small access to get into these two cabins behind our
Okay.
property. So, I mean, there had to be some give and take with Rob and I cannot ask for a better neighbor. I mean, I'll tell you, I'll come in, he'll bring up stuff from his nursery, he'll decorate the front of the building. Who does that?
Right.
That's one of the blessings of living up here is some of the amazing people. Now we've going back, like we bought in February of 2019 from Jim and Gail Bean. That was the last time that it was listed as Wood Lake Resort. So we
Okay.
changed it to Crystal's Wood Lake Supper Club in February 2019, changed the menu completely around. And as we, over the last 7 years, have slowly been remodeling the place, updating everything. The list goes on and on. Last winter's project, which is not done, but it's closer than it ever was,
Started and
was
it's in process.
remodeling the basement and building a game room downstairs for kids when they're here and their parents are upstairs waiting for their table. They can go down and play video games. They can shuffleboard, pool, golf. We've got some crane games. And then we've always got the silver push, which is the quarter game where, how many quarters can you get without rocking the machine that's screwed to the wall and screwed to the floor? So, that's one
Pull
of the
off a little
fun things
steam
about
so
that.
they can sit down and enjoy a good meal.
Yeah, exactly. Mom and dad just keep handing them money and they can't get downstairs and they get quarters or the nice thing about downstairs and the highlight of our game, it has its own jukebox.
Nice.
So if you're down there, you can play your own music. You can play what you want.
Set the vibe to
Um,
the tempo.
I mean, you're downstairs, you're away from your mom and dad, and it's just fun. And we're hoping more and more will get to use it. We are putting in some brand new TVs. So it's basically going to be hooked up to, our Netflix account, whatever. We're going to try to make it as fun as possible room downstairs for kids.
Family
I mean,
oriented.
without
Absolutely.
having to, we've got 5 TVs upstairs, which are usually on a baseball game, a football game, or whatever going on throughout the year. Sundays is NASCAR, so it's the fun part of being in this area. But, we hit a huge speed bump when we hit COVID in 2020.
That's an interesting time to buy the business in 2019 and then get hit with that
Yeah,
shortly after.
we were well, that would have been just a little over a month ago. Would have been what, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 6 years ago, 6 years ago, St. Patty's Day, they shut us all down, which was on a Tuesday. And we were at friends of ours establishment in Richford. And yeah, we were like, now what do we do? I mean, we had meetings through the Tavern League discussing, oh, we're going to be fine, nothing's going to happen. And then all of a sudden, on St. Patty's Day, one of the biggest bar days and food
Shut it down.
days, pull the plug. You've got restaurants. We had friends that were in Milwaukee, and they had full blown meals ready to rock and roll.
So much waste.
They were out throwing them to people driving by in the streets, to give it away, because what are you going to do? You can't. I mean, you got to
Right.
have massive amounts of refrigeration space or freezer space to
Right.
try to even save it if you can.
It would all been perished if you didn't give it away,
Yeah,
or a good chunk of it would have been.
it was for small business. It was a freaking nightmare.
Absolutely.
I was working over the road still for a company in Crystal Lake, Illinois. I was doing service and maintenance for heavy industry and foundries. And when I would go into Milwaukee, just for an example of how bad this hit, the number of restaurants, and I'm a new restaurant owner. I haven't had it a little over a year. And now we're shut down doing 100% takeouts. We've cut our staff back to 3 people. The number of restaurant closes, the number of people that couldn't pay their lease. They might not have owned the
They couldn't
building.
survive it. Yeah,
They couldn't survive because they couldn't make enough money just to pay their lease plus pay all the bills on top of that. So you just seen building after building closing up of old restaurants that had been around for years. But you know, we had some amazing customers that people don't realize. They went to the dollar store, they went to Family Dollar, and they bought a carload of to-go containers. So we didn't have to buy them, and they just gave them to
Wow.
us. I
Wow.
mean, you want to talk about humbling. That is literally the sign of great people. Now, we've lost one of them. Spencer passed away last year on us, but
My condolences.
the man loved this lake. And it's not just the lake, it was the community. And people go, well, where are you at? I says, well, right off of County Road CH between Westfield and Coloma. I mean, if you go across the street, you're in Coloma Township. On this side, you're in Springfield Township. And it's off the beaten path, but everybody on this lake pretty much knows everybody. I mean, that there is some very small turnover and some new people, but this lake, the Wood Lake Association, Lake Association, is a family. I mean, families get divorced, families move apart, but this place is a family. And they might be in Milwaukee, they might be in Chicago, they might be out east, they might be in Texas, Florida, California, Colorado.
A little bit of a delay there.
It's crazy how much of a family this whole lake is.
What a blessing.
Oh, it is. It is totally a blessing. And we strive off of that, but we also give so much back to the community. Let's see.
You said it was very humbling to see how many people actually showed up and just kept making it work.
It was crazy. I mean, we were doing almost as many takeouts on a Friday and Saturday as we would be if the dining room was full. We had people calling, well, where else could they go? I mean,
Right.
unless they were cooking 7 days a week at their house. A lot of our lake people moved out of Chicago and Illinois and moved up here
Away from the hot spots. There were hot spots.
Madness.
Yeah, yeah. Those were breeding grounds for COVID. It was even worse there in those areas because so many people went.
So I mean, that's the crazy part was how much we relied on our locals and our seasonals to support us during COVID.
Almost at the full mercy of the community in a sense.
Absolutely. Every restaurant that made it through was on the mercy of the community and the people that supported them. And that's why it's so important that Crystal and I do as much as we can for our community, sporting events,
Fundraisers.
local events, fundraisers, cancer fundraisers, real big with the Tavern League, supporting the Safe Ride program. Me being a veteran, Hogs for
for your service.
Heroes. Thank you. Hogs for Heroes is a big part of a Wisconsin-based organization that supports local state veterans on how to get them back in society. And mostly what it does is it puts them back on the road, on a bike, on a trike, so they can have that freedom back that they've lost due to injuries and whatever else that might happen. And it might not always be physical, a lot of psychological problems that were endured by veterans in deployments. So that's
Post-traumatic
a key group.
stress syndrome. There's all kinds of things that they're battling.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important that we do as much as we can for our veterans. But back to the history of Crystal and I. Crystal's mom and dad, they had two businesses. They had Dakota Inn,
Okay.
which you're familiar with.
Yep. Yep. Very
Uh,
familiar with that one.
yeah, yeah. Before they sold it to Brian and Denise, and then soon after that, my dad or father-in-law bought Zinke's Saloon, which
Okay.
was the bar across the street. So you had North Dakota, South Dakota. So they at one time were on both sides of the street, but then they later separated, and then Pops bought Zinke's.
Very cool.
So Crystal's been in the industry since she was high school, working at the restaurant, working in the kitchen with her mom, and then managing Zinke's with her dad for 12, 14 years up until the end when Pops retired and sold that to Brian again. So Brian had both sides of the street for a while. He still does, but now the building's gone.
Right.
But hey, so my history goes back even farther. I started out at a small steakhouse in Janesville, Wisconsin. I
Okay.
started out as a busboy, worked my way up to a dishwasher, then worked my way up to a
Those
line.
are my first jobs too. Was busboy, dishwasher
You
in a
know,
supper club,
so
Alaskan supper club in Red Grand.
so it was crazy. And then I went to the service, served on the USS Wisconsin, the last battleship,
That's awesome.
and went into heavy industry. I worked in factories, worked in maintenance. So the last 30 some plus years, I've been in maintenance and stuff like that until 2 years ago when I came home to run this with Crystal full time. So that's
How did you guys get from there to here? So if that was Janesville, right?
well, I moved my mom's family is from Harrisville.
Okay.
So they had a long running dairy farm. My aunts and uncles have farms. So we've had a strong connection to the Marquette County. I have.
Okay.
Crystal's family's always been in Washera County. The original Zinke farm is across from the old sawmill on Double I. So that,
Okay.
that arm,
Yep. I'm familiar.
yeah, that was originally the original Zinke farm.
Okay.
So
Pretty cool. I didn't know that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
knew there
So
was I knew there was some legacy here. I knew there was
there's a
89
lot of
years. There's
legacy.
deep history. So I got here too. Unofficial sponsor of this episode.
Yeah,
Shout out Red Bull.
unofficial. I got the diet one, you got the regular. So there you go. So, that's how we got into it. I moved up to this area like 2001.
Okay. Same, actually. From Illinois. I'm from Cicero. I moved
Yeah.
from Illinois up here
Okay.
in 2001.
So then we moved up from Milton to Berlin, Berlin to Nash Coral.
Okay.
Lived there. And then I was helping out doing maintenance for a good friend of mine that owned Timber Supper Club
Okay.
right
I'm
off of
also familiar.
22, which closed in 2018. Well, unbeknownst to us right away, he kind of snuck up here to Wood Lake and started bartending for the last owner. So, I mean, after 25 years of cooking, the man's, you gotta love it. It's a enduring thing to be
It
cooking.
takes a lot to be in the hospitality industry.
There's a lot of long hours and a lot of hair pulling out. See, I had a long head of hair in the 80s. It was nice. I could actually perm it. Now it's gone. So then we came up here and started to see him, because we'd been great friends. Mike, Crystal, and I are friends for 20 years probably. And I knew in 2009 I met Jim, which was the previous owner. And so we started coming back up here. So we're talking like 9 years later, we kind of reconnect. And he had a small sign in the window, for sale by owner.
Okay. That caught your eye.
Yeah, well, it caught Crystal's eye, I think, more than it caught mine right away. But we talked about it and laughed. And I'm like, okay, and I'm still traveling during the week. And so it kind of started out the old bar napkin, jot some numbers down, slide them back and forth. And the short story is we ended up buying it. I think we came to an agreement in December, and in February we closed the deal, and now we own Crystal's Wood Lake Supper Club for
That is awesome.
7 years. So
That is
um,
awesome. Now, and
yeah,
for the viewers, just so you know, I personally have not been out there to eat yet, and I've been following this story, and I've been watching the menu items, and my mouth waters looking at them prime ribs that you guys have coming out of there. So I definitely got to stop out there soon, and I'll give a personal recommendation and update
well,
as soon as
I
I try it.
appreciate that. And Crystal and I mean, it's a pride thing. Our family comes first, business, God and country. That's kind of the
Amen.
way I look at it.
Amen.
And and that's how we focus our day in and day out. I mean, I have some great vendors. I have Performance Foods. My sales guy is out of Mount Morris, does an excellent job for us. I have some of the highest quality meats that I can possibly get. in-house for our customers to enjoy. I mean, I have other smaller vendors that take care of different things, but I mean, between my beer, my liquor, my food guys, I think I've got the best of the best. And I beat him up as much as I can because I think he was here earlier and I think he might have left, but he was going to stop in because I knew his route was coming through this way. And I says, "Hey, I'm at the business working on Easter stuff, but I'm sure he might have left because he's seen I was doing this podcast." But
It definitely
no,
takes great
you
partnerships
can
to
you
service.
cannot you cannot do what we do, any of us. And I'm not just speaking about our restaurant. I'm speaking about all restaurants. You can't do what you do in this rural area without great vendors. And we're very fortunate to have in Wisconsin, we have some of the best food available nationwide.
100%.
I mean,
100%.
I mean the beef coming out of Iowa, and we've got produce companies that are bringing stuff in fresh, so we can turn that around and give that back to our customers. The stuff you can't get at the local grocery store. Now we're down to one. Don't even get me
Right.
started on that problem. Oh
Right.
my God!
Well, and
But
Klinger says he's working on something for meat market.
yeah, I heard in the rumor. I'll see him probably
Well, it's not a
tomorrow.
rumor.
Or
He confirmed it on my podcast.
did it? Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
did he? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
know.
even
I
gave
heard
the
he
name
was
of it too. He gave the name. It was Stone Mill Meat Market.
Stone Mill Meat Market. Well,
They're
if
still
anybody's
working with
gonna,
Stone Ridge, so they kept part of the name.
well, Dwayne has been excellent for this community. I mean, and I congratulations to him of growing a business that has outgrown
Right.
Watoma. I mean,
Right.
he's got Watoma, he's got grocery stores up and down the Fox Valley. He's got the cheese house over in Coloma here, just a few miles away. I mean, that family's, he started out in a little shop, I believe it was in Watertown,
Okay.
where the original meat market was before he moved up here and built the first Stone Ridge, which was the Ace Hardware
Yep. Yep.
back in the day. So a funny.
Building a brand or a business takes time and focus. As an entrepreneur or business owner, there comes a point where trying to manage every detail on your own can slow things down. What the Snark helps take some of that off your plate. They provide custom branding, business apparel, drinkware, and precision decals for vehicles, equipment, storefronts, and even custom home goods. A one-stop shop for all your custom gift needs. Located on Main Street in Wild Rose, What the Snark offers custom solutions designed and supported a clear and professional presentation. Visit their shop or reach out to learn more.
Story is Dwayne and I got together and Dwayne sponsored our snowmobiling grass drags that we had
Oh,
at
nice.
Lake of the Woods campground. Now this is going back, 4-ish, I believe.
Okay, yeah. So you're talking about 20
So
years now.
the night before the fire, I went in and picked up all our stuff. We were so busy that day, I sent a friend back to get more stuff, and she calls me bawling and says the store is gone. And I'm like, gone? What do you mean gone? And that's when they had the big fire, and she went over, probably still in tears, to pick and save, and the managers did whatever they could to help her out so we could keep going because we were so busy at Lake of the Woods with food and stuff like that, which we never expected. So Dwayne has always been there for the community, for the schools, and my hat goes off to him. So I mean, and he's another one of them silent vendors that we small businesses use, like myself, when I need something special, or he's got a great deal, and you can pick it up and turn around and make a great product with it. I mean, the food quality is definitely lost for a little while, but as soon as Ed and Dwayne get their heads together, I'm sure we'll have something nice. So
Right.
that'll be appreciated.
Right. Absolutely.
So I mean, so you go, every year is different. I mean, you look at some of the places around the area, they close during the winter, and you're like, you just keep pushing through. And we're fortunate. We're really, truly fortunate. Crystal and I are, of our staff. We've had people with us since day one.
That's
We've had
phenomenal.
people that have moved on. One of my cooks went into the electrical trade. Great guy. I can call him up if I give him enough notice and he ain't got any plans. He'll come back in and help me get through a busy night if I have someone sick or we're just shorthanded or out of town or something. So I mean, our staff is our second family. And if any of them ever need anything, I know Crystal and I are always there to help them with whatever they need. I mean, that's how you.
You said it first. You said family first. Family first,
Yeah,
then
family.
business.
Yeah,
You know,
and that's
God's
and
following. So
that's
he's a part of everything.
absolutely, and that's why we I think we've grown so much. I mean, we've grown so much that I don't know where we grow anymore. That's the problem. We've
I
got
think
some
and
big.
a lot of people don't
Go ahead.
realize, but the hospitality industry, it's definitely not an easy one. And then even if you have good customer service, you have to have the food quality that matches. And then you also need an atmosphere, an environment that's very soothing for people to want to come and enjoy and relax. So you're providing all three of those key elements there. So it should definitely keep attracting, more families and having a longer legacy and history to come. Yeah.
Yeah, and don't get us wrong. I make mistakes. My God, it's stepping up and making it right with the customers when something goes wrong. I mean, when you're doing 150 to 200 dinners a night on a Friday and Saturday, and you're working with a tiny little box kitchen, stuff happens. And our girls, they do their damnedest to, keep communication open. We've tried to make things easier with tablets and POS systems. And
Sometimes it improves things. Sometimes it slows it down a little bit when something's not working though.
yeah, I mean, we finally got switched over on our internet, which
Is it
has
like
made a huge
Toast? You're talking about
difference.
running Toast or something like that?
Yeah.
Like one of those
Uh,
POS
we, we,
systems?
act- we've been with Shift 4 since day one. I've set up with a company out of Cornerstone Processing out of Oshkosh, and they have been flawless for me and Crystal with updates and helping us make our system better and more streamlined.
It all
I mean,
improves the experience for the end consumer, for someone to come in there and relax. You got all the tools you need to get your job done correctly.
we try to, yeah. I mean, we put in the bottomless tap system. Nobody in the area has it. You've probably seen it down when you were in Chicago, but I seen it 8 years ago, 10 years ago in Lake Geneva. They had a wagon set up with a tap system, and literally it had 4 taps on it. It was all the same beer, and they just slammed cups down as fast as they could to fill them. And it allows our bartender. It's unique to
Right.
watch one, and maybe we'll
Absolutely.
we'll do one before we end the podcast, and I'll show you what it does.
I'd like that. It'd be cool.
It's, when tickets are coming in from the waitresses, they're making the drinks. And when you got people at the bar and they want 5 different tap beers. Well, the old way was you had to stand there and hold the tapper and tap it and burp a little the head off.
Right.
This system,
You literally just pull, go, pull,
just
go.
slam the glass down. I'll show you. It's amazing. And I think, it's quadrupled our tap beer sale. Now we went from 5 taps to 12 taps, but it all fits into our same footprint. So we didn't have to blow out walls and make things different. They were able to adapt the system to what we had. And it just made our experience for people coming in going, God, I've never seen that before. Well, here, have one,
Right.
and they'll have a tap here, So it's different things, it's a game room, it's the automation, it's better equipment,
It's the same faces every time.
I think 2 years ago Thanksgiving we started doing the last major overhaul, which was replacing all the flooring in the building.
Okay. Yeah, it's a big one.
Well, the flooring company is going like, well, yeah, we'll sell you the flooring and we'll install it, but you got to level the floor. A good friend of mine and me, we worked 6 weeks and we do a certain section that we knew we could handle the 2 days we were closed. So we would we tore out the red carpet that we think was installed in like 81 or 82.
Okay.
We had scoop shovels hauling the sand out with wheelbarrows because there was so much sand from being in sand country
Yeah.
that the vacuum cleaners wouldn't even pick it up. So Crystal and I always laughed because it seemed like every 6 months to every 9 months, we were buying a new vacuum cleaner because the son of a bitches would eat themselves. So there he is. Hi, buddy. I'm on a podcast talking about our great restaurant. What do you think?
Hear that stuff.
That's awesome.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
If you want, I'll just give you a call later. I need links, a number for links because I don't have it in my order guide.
Sausage lunch?
Yeah, like Jones or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So good. Okay. We'll do that then. Thank you. So yeah. So we tore it out. I'll tell you the number one tool we bought was a cordless hand planer. We had floors
Okay.
that were anywhere between 3/8 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch off.
Right.
Well, when this place was built in 37, it was probably built with green lumber. The original bar area is a rock, stone wall, concrete mix.
Okay.
The dining room and all that basement is brick So it was done at two different times, and we're not really sure. We think 70s they dug out the basement under the dining room and that and put in a brick basement and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, some of the history we're trying to piece together, but some of it is coming very slowly because people, are gone or whatever you want to put it. So we had wood that had shrunk over 80 some years. So we had to get in and hammer chisel the stone mason out to bring the floor back down to flush.
Wow.
It was
That's a
it was
process.
It was insane, but McCarthy Carpets did our flooring, did an amazing job. The install guys, they bring, leveling for, spots that need it. And he goes, I have never seen a building this old that never needed one touch of leveling compound for the floor. He says, you guys shot this from 25 different angles and it was flat.
Wow.
I mean, hats off to my buddy Adam. I mean, we just kept working on it, and we had multiple levels, and we would spread it out over 10, 15 feet and trying to join the original foundation to the new foundation where everything just went downhill. It was crazy. I mean, it literally was crazy, but when it's done, it's a commercial grade hardwood, real hardwood floor that it's beautiful.
Right. It'll definitely like it'd be a state of awe when you walk in. Like I
Oh,
said, the atmosphere is a big part of it. The customer service, quality of the food, but that atmosphere has to just I'm not saying it needs to shine like a palace, but it's got to be warm, welcoming, and not look like everything's falling apart.
oh, absolutely. And that's what we strive to do. We want this to feel like home. You're going to grandma's for dinner or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I mean, that's part of what a supper club is. Good mixed drinks. Yeah, old fashions. Fish fry on Friday. It's Wisconsin. If you ain't got a fish fry on a Friday, there's more than just that problems.
Right.
But so many people think, well, you just do fish fries. We are open Thursday through Monday. Our menu is, I don't know, it's 4.5 pages or 5 pages total.
Wow.
First page is appetizers, second page is steaks, third page is
Flats and
seafood, and then the
baskets.
rest is the common stuff. Yes, we still do liver and onions every day. So what's on our special board might be what I want to feature for dinner tonight. Everything on the menu is still on the table. So, I mean, since COVID, you go into a nice restaurant, and Crystal and I love to travel to different restaurants. I mean, that's our Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and we go around as many places we can. And some, in this area, you got to drive an hour or better to
Yep.
go to someplace different. So
Absolutely.
that's important to us to see what other people are doing. And it gives you that vibe of we're doing things right. And we've
Right.
always
We're on
talked
par.
we've always talked about taking our staff for like a dinner night. And maybe that's something that we should really do because they don't get to experience what you're doing to the customer until they can be the customer and someone's doing that experience back to them. And they get that benefit of the reward of how do I make their dinner service better, making sure that their cocktails are full. Sure. Making sure that they have any problems with the food, that they get the hostess involved or they get a hold of me or, addressing situations. And, summer's going to be here before long and the wait's going to be longer than people like to have. I mean, our restaurant only seats about 45 people and, and it's nothing for us to get a 10 or a 15 top that want to eat together. Well,
Right.
that,
It's a good group.
that is a big group, and some are doing seafood, some are doing fish, some are doing steaks.
Burgers. Yeah.
It's a time process, and everything takes a little bit more time. Fish is a lot easier than steaks.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
but it's that excitement that we get in the kitchen, or at least I get. Maybe I'm crazy, I guess, to want everybody to have a great experience, and when it doesn't happen, it bothers me personally. I mean, Crystal and I talk about it, and we look at the reviews, and how do we address it? How do we make it better for them? We were gone. Where were we at? I think we were at Tavern League last fall.
Okay.
And something happened. No, I'm sorry. Back up. Something happened over Valentine's Day, and we didn't know about it until after the fact. Customer was already gone. They were local. I reached out to her personally and bought her a meal, her second meal on us, because what happened, I wasn't sure if it was a communication problem between the waitress and us, or if it was just And I'm like, no, that's not the way we do business. I literally went down to where she works in Westfield and I took her basically a gift certificate for her and her son to come back and have dinner the second time on us, on Crystal and I. And that's the only way to make it right. I mean, because what happened shouldn't have happened, but it does. And every restaurant goes through that. And, making it right, you get some people, I mean, you could put it on a gold platter and you're going to still have conflict,
Right.
good or bad. I mean, the girls are trying, especially when they're busy. I mean, it's hard for two girls, the hostess and a busser, even with 50 people packed into the dining room. It's a lot of running around. And if the bar is full, the bartender can't really help, you know, expedite with, limited staff.
It takes a whole it
That
takes a whole team. It takes a whole team to run
that's
something efficiently.
and that's probably a bigger problem than we still have an employment issue problem.
Absolutely. There's a lot
Getting
of people
people
that just don't want to work,
well,
or
I
they're
mean,
not consistent, or they're not consistent when they do show up.
yeah.
You
I
show up
mean,
for
you
the
got
paycheck,
that.
you're not showing up for the job. You want to be there for the right reasons. You're here for the money, you're not here for the right reasons. You
Right.
want to
I
hire
mean,
someone that cares for
finding
customer service,
you're right. No, you're definitely right.
passion.
Finding somebody, one of our waitresses that stepped back, and she stepped back because she has her own damn business in Westfield. And I'll tell you, that girl would work all day long and then come in and work Friday night, Saturday night, and then help out if we needed it. If we were short, she would come in. I mean, she would literally be hands on her customers for 8 hours and then come and help us for another 4 hours at night. And she rocked it. And God, I miss her. But I mean, she is doing so good with her business, and I got to give her kudos. I mean, I love that she is that busy to doing her dream and making her goals come true. I mean, and that's it's so awesome. Seeing I mean, we've had people right out of high school and they've grown. I mean, they've been with us 5, 6 years, and now they're going on to college, going on to technical schools to better their career in life, and that's all you can ask
Do you guys
of
currently have
people.
any open positions that are needing filled yet, or is everything set in house? Just trying to take this as an opportunity because maybe someone
Well,
who listen
yeah. No,
that hears that's like, you know what, this is the kind of boss that I want. I want to apply this.
well, you want Crystal to be your boss. Let's clarify that. Crystal is the boss I work for Crystal.
Good
Nobody
cop, bad
wants to
cop. She's the good
nobody
cop.
wants to work for me. Yeah. Oh God. I'm like a hot-headed banana, I'm like, I don't know. Go talk to Crystal. I have no clue. If it's not
She's the
food
soft
related,
one.
well, she can still be the boss, but you're like, I mean, if it's not food related and I'm focused on kitchen, she takes care of the staff, the scheduling, and it works out good for us. And I love the woman to death. She's my rock and keeps me going. But yeah, we do have openings. We could use another bartender, for sure, that would like to fill in the gaps, that's looking for some extra hours. Definitely probably another waitress. I think summertime, Crystal and I have talked, we're going to go 3 waitresses on Fridays and Saturdays just to give better service to the customers. And I
As far as
think
the bartender goes, anything with experience, you're looking for someone with experience in bartending, or as far as waitresses go, you're willing to train the right individual, anything specific to that
yeah,
nature?
I'm even looking. I mean, I know Westfield had a culinary school.
Nice.
If there's a high school kid that's interested in cooking and wants some real life experience, absolutely. I mean, I think right now we've got 2 high school kids working for us. The rest are either in college. We've got another one coming back from college. I think that's going to help out. But yeah, I mean, I can definitely use extra help. We would love
Basically,
to.
if you're passionate about something that you have a service at your restaurant, your supper club, reach out
I
to,
mean,
basically.
we're talking about Crystal's Wood Lake Supper Club, but we also have Captain's Pizzas, and I also have a
Okay.
smoking catering business that we do.
I didn't know about either of those two. I just knew about the supper club.
So I mean, but it's very hard for us to focus on pizzas. Kind of, we built a room for it, but if we don't have the staff for it, we can't like juggle people to make a pizza. And everything that we do is made fresh in house. So it's like either you call ahead first, want 5 pizzas, and we do. And in the summertime, that's great because they'll call my phone and say, "Hey, Doug, can I pick up 4 pizzas at 4 o'clock?" And I'm like, "Do you want to bake? Do you want to take them home and bake them?" No, everybody's on the lake. We'll just take them home. We'll bake them.
It's
That
nice.
works
That
out
works
perfect.
out.
So,
Yeah.
we're the Papa Johns, but not the Papa Johns. I don't want to
Right.
get clarified, no
Right.
royalties or copyrights, but and that it's the flexibility. And we've
Should we
talked
call it
about,
Mama Crystal's Pizza?
yeah, it's called Captain's Pizza.
Captain's Pizza.
I think it's around here somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but
I'll have to try it out. I'm
yeah,
lactose
I mean,
intolerant, but if it's good pizza, I'm willing to suffer for the right slice.
yeah, we have some crazy pizzas too. I mean, but it's also, we need that person in the back that we can pull off the line to make pizzas, so we can offer our full menu plus pizzas. That would be the goal for the summer, would have that extra person in the kitchen, and then that would our main goal is to get Crystal out on the floor more. Lately, she's been stuck in the kitchen with me. She's been doing plating. She's been cooking with me, and that's stressful. And nobody wants to work, that close to their husband. I mean, trust me, that's crazy. But she does it. She's a rock, and I couldn't do it without her.
God
And
bless her.
she's she's my superstar that keeps me going every morning. But
That's awesome. That's awesome.
so we could use a couple more waitresses, so we could, rotate some people in on, we want people to spend time with their family, not be struggling here at the restaurant every single weekend. So, if you're looking for a great opportunity, I won't throw out a number sign, but our waitresses make incredible money, and they work their butt off for 4.5 to 5 hours a day. There's some prep work on Thursdays and Mondays that they get done, but Nancy's been making our desserts since day one. If you've never had a dessert made by Nancy, last year she got runner-up of Best of the Best for South Central Wisconsin.
Okay, that's awesome.
Our customers nominated us and voted us, and we ended up with 4 wins of Best of the Best last year.
That's awesome.
And it's more out of the Dells, Marquette County south towards like the Dells and
from there,
Portage,
basically from there
Portage.
north.
Yeah. It didn't really inquire many of the places, like once you get into Washira County and stuff like that. So, but it was mainly, we were going head to head against the Dells, the Del Bar, Embers, Eshnala.
Some other larger names have been around for some time.
So, I mean, it was very humbling. I think nominations start in like May or end of April, and they go for a month, and voting's for a month, and then you don't find out till like September. So the summer is over with,
right,
before you find out. So, and it's run by, I believe, the Capital newspaper, or what used to be the Wisconsin State Journal.
Okay.
That newspaper.
Yep, I recall.
Yeah. So they do like one for like Dodge County area, and then they do what they call Central Wisconsin. So that's how we fell into getting nominated last year.
Yeah,
it's
a reputable organization other than
absolutely.
like business
and it's all
rate.
done.
I see people with like those business rate ones, and it's like it's such a random company for business rate. So the one that you're referring to, this is one that's been around Wisconsin for many years, and they've been established, and they're just different divisions of nominations. So it's pretty awesome.
And it's voted on. It's voted on by your customers. You're nominated by your customers.
So you're only going to make it if you're producing quality food and in a great atmosphere, consumer experience.
So in September, we had a private meeting with Capital Paper, and she goes, "I wanted to talk to you," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." I didn't know what she wouldn't say. So I met her here at the business, and she goes, "Well, I want to talk to you about your winning." And I go, "Winning?" She goes, "Yeah, you won 4 out of the 5 areas you were categoried for."
Nice.
Well, you want to talk about humbling? That was crazy.
4 out of 5. That's pretty. That's prominent. That means you're doing something right. You're doing it right consistently.
We're trying. I mean, like I said, things do happen, and we do make mistakes. But to have our customers just wholeheartedly support us in a way like that, to vote for us, nominate us, and then we end up winning 4 out of the 5. And I heard it was close on the desserts too. I heard it was real close. So, but no, I mean, that just says that Crystal and I are trying to do things the right way. It can't do it without our community support, our lake support, definitely not without our family and staff. I mean, it's not just a small group, it's a large group. The funny thing, when we were putting our business plan together back in 19, we're like, well, if we can get people to come from 40 miles, 50-mile radius, yeah, I think we can make it. Well, the blessing is we have 21 and 39 running basically almost right to our doorstep.
Parallel or adjacent.
Yeah,
it's nearby.
I mean, crisscrossing, a lot of traffic is going up and down. And that brings, that last Sunday. Yeah, yesterday. no, I'm sorry, Saturday night. I got done cooking and I was sitting at the bar enjoying an old fashioned, and this gentleman comes up and thanks me for dinner, and he leaves, and I didn't recognize him. I didn't know who he was, and all of a sudden he comes back and he hands me this postcard. Great food, and I'm like, well, thank you. And I look at and I go, it's Dave Marcus, the NASCAR driver.
I seen the post. I was like,
And I'm like,
awesome.
and I never thought of being like a person that's like starstruck.
Right, right. Like all of a sudden
But
you're a fan. Like you're just like fan mode. You're like, I froze. I didn't know what
I
to
mean,
do.
I should have got a picture with the damn man. I mean, he's a Wisconsin legend.
Surprised you didn't get a
You know,
selfie with him.
running the circuits, from Jefferson to Madison to the Dells,
He's a pro driver.
driving cars for Dale Earnhardt Sr. and, great friends with Dick Trickle that's gone now. And my cousin
I was a big Tony Stewart guy. I wasn't big on NASCAR, but I like Tony Stewart.
Smoke's a hell of a guy. And this is the craziest part about this lake. It's not just Wood Lake. On the other side of the road is Pleasant Lake.
Yep. Yeah. I've been there because I have a friend that owns a property there. So I've kayaked that one.
And one of our great friends, actually, he was my landlord in Berlin when I first moved up to this part of the area in 2001. We rented an old bakery in Berlin that had been closed for years, but it had an upstairs apartment in it. So we're living in this place, and he's my landlord, and he had a bar in downtown Berlin, and my ex-wife and I would go in there, and we met all these people from Badger Mining, and I mean, just people in general. And we buy this, and Gary and Linda have a place on Pleasant Lake. Well, one of their daughters is an agent for the FBI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
You guys got a speakeasy? Is that what they dug out the basement for?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, but I haven't seen her in a while.
60s were an interesting time.
I love when she comes up. She brings her dad out for dinner and stuff like that. God bless, we lost Linda, but she was a rock star. And, totally, we lose people that influenced our life over the years. And Gary and Linda, were nice enough to let us rent an old place that, he was big into real estate, and it worked out. Gary's daughter used to do security and knew Tony Stewart very well.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's such a weird, on how you get to know people and how many people know these people. Yeah. Saturday night, Dave Marcus came in on his way home from, I'm assuming, a race someplace, maybe Martinsville. I'm not sure where they would have been at last week. And he stops here for dinner because they were still heading up to Wausau to get home. And I'm just like sitting here, and I'm like, I just had Dave Marcus in our restaurant. And, the history that man, I mean, we got talking, he would go fishing with Dale Sr.,
Okay, that's awesome.
And testing his cars, and, he was buying motors from Wagner's in Waupun. And I said, well, my cousin, Richie Bickle, grew up in Edgerton. I blew up a motor one day and called and said, hey, I need a motor. And he says, go over. There's one sitting on a tire. I don't know if it's any good. You can have it, whatever. I mean, it was just, it would have been my dad's uncle was Richie's grandpa. Okay. I mean, it was just crazy stuff, how he got into go-kart racing. And my uncle John was a tool and die guy that worked for old Dana Axle place that used to be in Edgerton. Been gone for, 30, 40 years now. He made one of the first centrifugal clutches, for go-kart racing and stuff like that. I mean, he had patents and stuff. And it's just crazy how it revolved into Richie doing go-kart racing, and then up to cars, and up to, dirt model, and then up into NASCAR himself. So it's just, I mean, the history of my family, Crystal's family, and how it all comes together. And then on Saturday night, Dave Marcus walks in, and it's not just, him. Monday night, we were lucky I kind of had forewarning, but one of our lake families, Lily Wiesner, used to be one of our bartenders. She was pretty young when she started off for us, and then she kind of came back, and as she got older, she was, you could see she grew up. You could see her from being a young girl to now a young woman, and going on to her career of photography in Colorado. Awesome. But this family's been on this lake for, I don't know, 60 years, I think, or maybe longer. John and the Wiesner family have 3 girls. They have Maddie, or Madison, Taylor, and Lily. And Madison or Maddie, we call her. I call her Maddie. She's in a band, and it's
Nice.
Census. They have traveled all over the world. So when you get done with this, Google Census, and they were in Chicago. Gotta get this right. They were in Chicago Friday night. They were in Milwaukee Saturday night. After the concert Saturday night, they came up to the lake house. The whole band did.
Yeah, I seen that post.
Crashed
Awesome.
here, and then they came in, had dinner, snacks, cocktails on Monday, and I got to see them before they went up and did a show Tuesday in Minneapolis.
That's awesome.
I mean, if you've seen some of her live videos, I couldn't imagine how proud the family is of her accomplishments with this band and the tour they're on right now through
That
the
is
United
awesome.
States. I know they were in Australia and Great Britain. They were opening last year for a band, but she's like,
Music speaks to the heart.
build a stage, we will come. So, we've got some stuff planned coming up. This May we've got Road Trip playing for a
I like
birthday
that band.
party, and on the 30th, we've got our big veterans benefit on June 20th. You never know. You might see Census live on Wood Lake too, if I can work it out and
That'd be pretty
get
cool.
everybody together. But it was so great seeing them, and they're such a humbling family. I mean, they grew up in Green Bay. So
Right.
they can't be wrong. I mean, they're Packers fans. God damn, they love them.
They bleed green and gold, just like
bleed
everyone else
green and
here.
gold. Now
And
they're living in.
I'm born and raised in Illinois, but I'm not
Sorry.
a Bears fan. I'm not a
Well,
Bears
that's
fan.
okay then.
I
There you
grew
go.
up watching them just get beat every year after year. So eventually I started looking at the Packers, but Brett Favre kind of made me a little nervous. It was like, is that a touchdown or is that an interception?
Right.
And then Rodgers stepped in, and then I was a Packers fan after that. Now I don't even watch football anymore.
Well, I got to meet Brett Favre, got a helmet signed by him. His
pretty cool.
his first full year with the Packers.
I mean, he's
He
a
was doing
legend. I mean,
He
he's
was
got
doing
records.
an autograph thing at the Janesville Mall back in the
Late
early 90s, I
Yeah, I was
think.
gonna say
Yeah.
90s. Yeah.
93, 94, something like that. So,
I was a Rugrat then. I was born in
Yeah.
87, so I was a baby.
yeah. So that's kind of a lot. I mean, of what we got going on, and we just try to make improvements every single day.
Absolutely. And like as far as menu items, what's the most requested menu item that you think you have on there for food wise?
Well, probably my ribeye is probably one of our biggest sellers. We bring in our roasts. They're all cryovac. I mean, it's not no trade secret or anything. That's how everybody else is getting their food too.
I was gonna say you don't have to go into too much detail about any of that stuff if you
No,
don't want
no.
to, but
I don't mind because it's, we just bring it in and we let it rest. We let it age out, and then I hand cut them, and they're probably one of our biggest sellers. Our ribeyes, our prime rib, our pork
I'm a big
chops,
prime
which is
rib
a
guy.
pork fillet, and then our ribs are probably the top. But we have so much seafood too. I mean, our scallops are about the size of a $50. They're basically listed as U10s. We get them, and they're ton of flavor. They're fresh, and people love them. We do different things. I mean, we do a stuffed salmon with blue crab stuffing.
Okay.
We've got some crazy appetizers where we do stuffed shrimp. So there's so much different stuff on our menu. We do lobster bites. We do prime bites, which is basically we cube up our prime rib, and we
That
do
sounds
a
good.
beer batter with an egg drip. I mean, it's all done fresh. It's not. There's stuff that you bought. I mean, your French fries, you're not making fresh French fries.
Right.
There is product that you bring in.
Processing potatoes all day.
Good Lord. I mean, yeah, you'd have to have a kitchen 25 times if you were, each department would be doing their own thing. But, the other thing that, we strive on is our salads are made fresh every day. The girls come in about an hour and a half early and start putting the salads together and getting them portioned up, where we're using, a blend of salad, radishes, cucumbers, carrots, so you get a fresh salad. You can get a fresh chef salad, which is going to have ham, chicken, egg on it, stuff like that with cheese. And then I usually have between 2 to 3 fresh homemade soups. We always have French onion. French onion is a staple that my buddy Mike taught me, and he's taught me the recipe, and people just love it. We put the breadcrumb or the croutons in it, or the bread pieces, so it floats, and then they put that mozzarella cheese on top, so it gets slightly melted in, and you have that creamy cheese melted in with your French onion.
That's nice.
Friday nights, I always try to do a seafood-based soup. I've done We do a lobster bisque where we put fresh lobster meat into it.
I was gonna ask
Clam chowder.
any special house sauces or anything like that? Anything in particular you guys make there, or something that people are like, if you're gonna buy this steak, you got to get this sauce with it, or this, anything in particular?
Well, yeah, we do. I mean, we'll jump back to salads. Right now, Crystal has our girls making our own ranch and our own blue cheese.
Okay, yep, that's important.
We do
Good
a
note.
lot of fresh blue cheese, and we have the blue cheese crumbles. My brother in Alaska was home, and he goes, "You got to try this blue cheese recipe." And I go, "Okay, sure, whatever." We used to do blue cheese crumbles, and then we'd melt it on a steak. Well, anybody that's worked with blue cheese is an odd cheese for melting. You don't want to overcook the steak, but you want it to. It doesn't flow out like a normal cheese would, like if you're covering a sandwich with cheese. So he gave me this recipe, and we do a creamy blue cheese that I make per order, and it's totally changed the game on our blue cheese sauce for over a steak. And if you like blue cheese,
Yeah.
a creamy blue cheese over top of a steak is pretty.
Mouthwatering. Yeah. Sounds like an explosion of flavors in my taste buds already.
Yeah,
I haven't even been into it yet. Now
and
I
I'm
gotta
not
try
a
it.
big blue cheese person, and it's like I've tasted it, I'm like, this is actually pretty good. I could actually see dipping my steak into it, maybe not pouring it over the top, but
Right.
dipping it.
But dipping it, yep, as you go. Yep, I'm the same way.
And then we make our orange sauce in house. We make our creamy dill in house. I found that buying fresh dill, it just makes that dill sauce for like our salmon like come alive.
Okay.
I mean,
It's really just
when you can get fresh, good ingredients, it totally different than trying to use a dry or whatever. And sometimes that's all you can get. So you're kind of, it's not like we're growing dill in January outside in the snowbank.
Right.
So yeah. What else?
pick some fresh ones.
All our barbecue is made in house.
Okay, there you go.
I make all our barbecue. I do all our smoking in house. Our ribs are all slow cooked, anywhere between 8 to 12 hours. So that
Now you're speaking my language.
They're falling off. Some people go, well, they shouldn't fall off the bone. Well, I like to pull the bones out, throw them away, because you're not eating the bones. You want that meat. And
Correct.
so I make all our barbecue sauce in house, and that it just adds that flavor to it. And every barbecue sauce is different. I'll tell you that
Absolutely.
right now. I don't
Absolutely.
make the same barbecue sauce every time. I use different ingredients. I use different flavors. So this one might have apple and raspberry hints of it with bourbon, and then it's a combination.
The taste buds guessing a little bit.
Yeah.
It's always a consistent, just with an extra hint of something.
We have a lot of people that enjoy our tuna and our salmon. We do a roasted tuna, a pan seared. We do like an appetizer as well, where we'll cut it up into little bites, and and people enjoy that. Or you can just get the tuna steak itself. Our fish is probably one of the biggest things that we strive on, because we have so many different types of fish for Friday night. Our famous fish fry is 1, 2, or 3 piece, and it's a long piece of white fish. It's a pollock that we use. We also have cod, so we do that beer battered, hand breaded, broiled, lemon peppered,
Yeah, there you
Cajun.
go. So, interesting enough, I'm not a big fish guy, but
Yeah.
anytime I hear cod or lemon pepper cod, my mouth waters, because I'm just like, I can do that. I've had some.
One of our waitresses / bartenders, she's multitask. Now she's waitress / bartender / helping in the kitchen. This last weekend, she had the lemon pepper, and she goes, "It's just so good." I says, the way
I hear it and my mouth waters, literally.
the garnishing, seasoning it right, and then garnishing it and letting that lemon sit on top and bake into the cod. It just brings that element of that fresh lemon taste right to it. We've got lake perch, bluegill, smelt, walleye, and catfish.
Yeah,
Them
I've
are
had some perch
freshwater.
recently. I had a fillet of
Yeah.
perch recently. I ate the whole fillet. It was delicious. It was good. So,
And we do a medium-sized fillet, because you can get different sizes. You have on all our fish. I was going to say fishes, and that doesn't even make sense.
unless you're Capone style, go swimming with the fishes.
Yeah, in the mob or something. You can get Cajun, traditional, pan seared.
There you go.
I've got a guy that comes in, and I tell him, I says, come in early or come in late, and he'll have me pan sear his bluegill. It's just because we have limited space, but that's what you do. We haven't done a lot of it. Last weekend, I had somebody say, can you grill my shrimp? I go, I suppose.
That's kind
Yeah.
of a unique request. Yeah, sure.
I mean, so, you got to put them on a spear. Otherwise they'll disappear in the grates. You'll be looking down at the bottom. They'll be sitting down there. But, yeah, I did 2 big spears full of 13, 15 shrimp for him, and he was happy as a lark. He just likes
Cooked to
that.
order. Yeah.
He just likes that grilled taste versus like a pan.
Right.
In a pan, like you're broiling it,
Right.
so it gives a different flavor. We're doing some sweet smoke on our salmon with like a cedar plank. It's more of a rub, which gives that flavor, a little bit different taste to the salmon. So, I mean, there's so many different things that we've done. We've done a seafood boil in the summer times outside.
I've seen them. They'll do like a bag and then dump some stuff on a table, and it's just all this stuff that was boiled
Yeah,
together.
we do. I'll send you a picture. We do a serving platter.
Okay.
Like you would get at when you went through elementary school. You get that platter and they
Yep.
scoop all the food on. Well, we would do a 14, 16 full lobster, scallops, crayfish, dewy sausage, potatoes, all
The fixings, all the
shrimp,
works.
all that, everything right on one big plate. And we kind of got an idea. We kind of got the idea from a place that did it too, but it's you need that extra body in the kitchen because you got one guy outside that's doing snow crab in the pots and doing the lobster in the pots. And I mean, it's a crazy ass night. Some of it you've got prepped up and then they're cooking the scallops and the shrimp as needed for the seafood platter. And then the rest of it's all boiled together, the potatoes, the onions, the crayfish, and the andouille sausage. So, you just get that whole Cajun, rush, you stick your head over it and
you got to have a hungry audience by the time they hear
cleaned
this.
out. Everything's cleaned out. Well, you're not eating it. Nobody is eating it,
Right.
That's like, we have an official 96-ounce steak.
Ooh,
Because we have Point Beer, and Point Beer has the Great Outdoors. So how do you have a Great Outdoors beer without a Great Outdoors 96-ounce steak?
Right.
It's special order. You got to call and let us know so, we can prep it up. It's 6 pounds, and we cook it on the grill. So it's a monster. We've done as many as 2 or 3 in a night. And it's like, God, it's like, and nobody finishes it. With
How could you?
baked
6
potato,
pounds?
salad, soup.
6 pounds. It's a lot of meat.
It's
a lot of meat. You could be a big fella, and that's still a lot of meat.
Yeah. So it's just it's nuts. But yeah, we just keep doing different things, and maybe I do too much. Crystal thinks I do too much, but we like to keep it. We like to have options.
Right.
We want our customers to fall in love with the place, but we also want them to fall in love with different things.
Right.
The requests I get for our seafood Newburgh, I could probably have it almost twice a month and people would come. I have a great couple that I've known for years, even before the restaurant. They would come to Timbers and get it. And they live north of Wild Rose.
Okay. Yeah. So they travel
Almost to Almond. I think there's someplace in between there on one of the lakes, but they will literally come down. I will send a Facebook post out saying Seafood Newburgh for Valentine's Day. They will be the first customers here having cocktails and taking one home with them because she loves it. And that's awesome. Hey, but
Right.
It's got crab, it's got king crab in it. It's got scallops, it's got shrimp and lobster all on top of a Cajun pasta. I'm sorry, a cognac pasta, creamy cognac pasta.
Sounds so good.
It's the seafood bonanza with pasta and a beautiful roasted red pepper and cognac cream sauce.
Sounds so
and
mouth-watering.
it smells so good. And then we garnish it with fresh basil. I find the fresh basil. We used to have a plant out back, and then I think some of us forgot to bring it in and it got froze off. But I'll probably pick up another one, and just keep it outside and keep water and just pull the leaves off and new leaves will come out. And we just got fresh basil all the time, which is
awesome.
It's nice for the summer. It's that fruitiness and that smell you get when you take that first bite, and that fresh basil just kind of overtakes your nose.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. The greens are good for your body too.
Yeah, that's what we're going with. Greens are going for your body.
Absolutely.
But no, it's I don't know.
If you live anywhere within 50 miles or so, you got to check this place out, basically. There's so much variety on the menu. You said you can seat at least 40, 50 people. So if you have a group of 10, call ahead. Definitely make sure that you communicate that. That way they can be prepared for your arrival. But
Right.
definitely sounds like you guys have quite the atmosphere.
We do, and we are one of the places that do take reservations because of our limited space. We kind of have to, so we can kind of plan out. Recently, we took on another partner to help with that. We took on Open Table, and when we were at a Tavern League business thing, and the one of the restaurants we went to while we were out there, they had Open Table, and it's so easy. It helps you plan your dining room out. You know how much time it's going to take for this table, so it's going to allow you to know when you can
Forecast.
put somebody in, and it also helps you with walk-ins too. I mean, if we use it to the fullest capacity, it should make us more efficient. That's why my fingers are crossed. But
Absolutely.
that's just another tool that we're using, trying to give the best experience to somebody. I mean, we've had people. This is my motto, and it's been from day one. If you're here at 9 o'clock and you walk in at 9 o'clock, I'm still making you dinner. If you're here waiting to still be seated, we've cooked in the summertime, especially around the holidays, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day. We're doing 250 people. We're changing our dining room over 4 or 5 times.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a good
still
chunk.
cooking at 10:30 at night. Now, the great part is about people from Chicago and other places. Some places, restaurants down there, they stay open a lot later than we do.
Right.
We start cooking at 4 and usually we're done by 9. But if you're here still waiting for us to make you dinner, we're not stopping until everybody's fed. We're
I
not
know.
saying, sorry, it's 9 o'clock. No,
Yeah,
no,
last order. Last
that's not
order.
gonna
Or
that's not gonna happen. We're gonna cook until everybody is 100% taken care of, and that's something that Crystal and I decided a long time ago, is that we keep going until the last person's fed. Then we'll take a break and pass out or whatever it is, that we have to do to get going for the next day.
right. Amen to that. Little recharge.
But I appreciate you asking me to join you.
Absolutely. I'm grateful you took the time to come on here and do it.
I will, before we leave, I will show you the bottoms up
Yes.
system.
Yes.
So I just unplugged my tablet. So I'm going to move you
Okay.
to get a better view of that. And we'll show everybody what bottoms up means and what it's done for our business. And,
Yeah, absolutely.
and I've talked to some of my good friends that are in Watoma, and, it's not a easy deal,
Takes
trying
a
to
little
do
bit to integrate, but once it's
do the
integrated, it really makes a difference.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and then that's totally the truth. And I'll see if I can do this without screwing stuff up and trying to get the right angle, which is going
I
to be
appreciate you showing the audience because I mean they got a mouthful with all the menu options you have, so
yeah,
they got to know what they can wash it down with.
that's exactly right. Probably gonna have to
Absolutely.
do this.
I personally am on a
Oh, there we go.
2.5 year sobriety journey, so I don't drink or consume any alcoholic beverages. But when it comes to supper clubs and restaurant experiences, this is the one thing that I allow the pass for because this is all a
There we
part of
go.
the consumer experience.
So we have two different glass sizes, which actually we have three. We have the sampler mug,
Okay.
so you could get
Quick
a
little swig of it,
flight of samplers.
like a two gulper right there, and that's gone.
So you could get 6 different flavors on a flight.
Okay.
Oops, I probably got. This problem is I'm gonna lose.
I could see a good chunk of it. I mean, you were fine.
Okay, well, I like my eyeballs are right in the pipe. That's the people I love when people go, hey, we can't see you, or they can't see the TV. They'll be sitting on the north side of the bar and they can't see the big TV in the back. There's a TV here on your right. There's 2 over here, and most of it's people trying to have a conversation. They're like, "Son of, if this thing was 6 inches taller,
Right.
we could talk to everybody." Oh, yeah, you got that problem. That's my biggest problem of the night was that. I'm gonna try to get my camera to show. I don't know if I can turn. Oh, there we go. Look at that. How's that? A little
We
bit
can
better?
still see. We can still see.
All right. So I got to figure out which tap I'm on. Okay, there. We're gonna go to this one. Oh, when the girls are busy, and they've got 2 beers, all they do is take the glass. Oops, I'm on the wrong camera. So there you go. So you
We
see
can
it
still
kind
see
of
it.
filling up.
Filling up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll just move over, and this is our 20-ounce cup, and this is
Wow.
and it's all metered. It's all stopped. Perfect bush light every time.
Yeah.
So there it
Wow.
is.
Look at that.
So
no head on the top of that. No sloppy mess to hold on and wait for a second.
well,
Just
the
fill
biggest
it,
thing is it's the
serve it.
waste.
Right. Right.
We've eliminated the waste portion of every bar always has like a bucket underneath their tap system where all the
way it
foam and the
catches.
head goes to.
Yep.
We still have a drain, don't get me wrong, but it goes
Significantly less waste, though.
we figured if we were getting
And the time aspect, too, right?
oh yeah, she's making 2 drinks while she's filling 2 beers. I mean, I've seen it as much as 8 or 9 beers are being tapped at one time.
Wow. Yeah, so that's definitely proficiency there.
They're just grabbing glasses and slamming glasses down. We have plastic glasses for outside when people want to sit outside and sit on the picnic tables, enjoy the weather, or have a sandwich or something outside too. We also have that outside seating, which is probably going to be coming soon with the weather finally starting to get better. So
the next few weeks here, yeah.
yeah, so it's supposed to be decent. So that's our bottoms up systems, and
That's pretty neat. So you would recommend for other businesses to consider that basically
it's
as a tool to make efficiency and as well as taste, right? Because I'd imagine it
yeah,
changes.
the freshness part of it. See, this is a blended system. Typically most traditional places have a CO2
Right.
pushing the beer up to the tap handles. I mean, I've had people that have literally laid on the bar looking at the top of the post, looking to see where the hole is so the beer comes out, because they think
That's
it's
what I was like,
there.
how is this filling up? I was watching it too.
We got pictures. So
That's awesome.
everything can be filled easy peasy, just fill. But you have to remember that it's a no poke zone. You can't put your finger. Whoops, there we go. We'll figure out where the camera at. There it is.
There you go. No poke zone.
Okay. So these are the magnets that go into the glasses that seal it once it sets back down. So, you got, they did, custom logos for us.
That's pretty cool.
Something like caution, magnets in use. Because we do have those individuals with all the warnings will still stick their finger in the hole, and then they have a mess. It happens monthly.
Right.
And then you see somebody running outside with their hand in their glass, spilling it as they're going outside to dump it out. So, you can't, there's a saying that
it's
I
a
won't
learning
say.
curve. They'll figure it out eventually.
There's a saying that I won't say. You can't fix something.
Yeah.
That's why they're magnets,
that same
guys,
saying came to my head right away, but I didn't say it.
You can't fix it.
I thought of the
what are you
same
supposed
thing.
to do?
Right.
But
it's a learning curve. They'll figure it out eventually. Like, well, if I do this and that spilt it, I won't repeat that process.
And, and this is one of the things that, has helped us grow the business. And, we have, like I said, we have 12 different beers on tap. We have stuff from Ripon. Knuth Brewery has been huge.
The Blue Eye Blonde is a pretty popular one from them.
We've been there for their pizza. The oldest brewery in America, Yingling, finally came to Wisconsin like 60 days ago, 90 days ago. And then we've got your traditionals, your Spotted Cow, your Bud Light, your Busch Light, your Miller Light. You got an IPA, you got Ultra, Michelob Ultra, and then we got Texas Shiner Bock. But 3-4 of these will change. A seasonal beer. Now I got a seasonal Samuel Adams on tap right now.
Okay.
So I mean, it gives us flexibility to what the customer wants. When we started out deciding how we were going to do this, basically we put out on Facebook, what kind of beers do you want to see? And that's how it all started. We had a list. I had a list in my own head. And then we wanted to see what everybody else wanted. And we've had
redefine it from there.
We've had Leinenkugels on tap. Usually we have an Oktoberfest, at least one. The nice thing about Knuth and working with them guys is we get seasonal beers that they do in smaller batches that people don't get to try. And we get the opportunity to turn that around to our customers and let them try different things that they might not get anyplace else.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's something different, Yeah, we're in the middle of the woods and we got a lake down the hill.
A lot of people, especially the people from Chicago trying to get away from the city, that want to be in those same woods. I'm one of them.
And that's, I guess that's what kind of sets us apart and makes us special. But, every business owner, it doesn't matter if you're Westfield or any of us, Watoma, Coloma, everybody's working hard to give you the service that you deserve. It's not just we're doing something differently than what they're doing in Watoma. That's not the truth. Everybody is, let's say, fighting for their own little piece of pie, and you want it to be memorable, and you want them to tell somebody how good it was, and you want to, build off of that. And everybody, not just us, Crystal and I, and Wood Lake, everybody's is doing their best to do that. And it's not easy. I mean, it's a tough hospitality restaurant. It's tough.
But if you're in it for the right reasons, it's very rewarding because, like you said, you got generations of families and walks of life that come in there. They keep coming back. Same smiles, just more stories and more memories. So, that's definitely a blessing.
Yes,
Is there any other? Because like one of the things I'm trying to do with some of this stuff is I let Ed recommended for me to reach out to the Knuth guys to see if I can get them on a podcast. That's someone he thought would be an interesting one. Is there anyone that you would recommend that maybe you think I should reach out to that would make a great episode for something similar like this? Or do you have a friend that doesn't have to be a restaurant? It could be another business owner that you think deserves the spotlight because they're also community focused. They're in it for the right reasons and maybe they'd like to get on a camera and talk to the same audience.
Well, definitely Knuth. The guys over there, Ryan and them guys, Ed's totally right. They do an amazing job. It'd be nice. I've probably got three different ones that I would like to, I brought up Hogs for Heroes. They're actually, some are based, they're out of Oxford. They have a place there that they run the organization out of. And like I said, it's 100%. You look at different organizations and you get their scale. They do so much, and so much of what they raise is given back. And that's why the Tavern League of Wisconsin convention is starting today. And the Fond du Lac Tavern League, working with is it Maysteel or Skag? Skag Power Equipments, which is over in Mayville. They donated a lawnmower just to raise money for Hogs for Heroes to help more veterans in Wisconsin.
That's
Last
awesome.
year, I think they raised close to $25,000 for that one lawnmower.
That's a lot of money.
And they're doing another one this year. So maybe I'll win it. I doubt it, but maybe I'll win it.
But absolutely, though, it's a great cause. Every donation towards that fundraiser is going towards a great cause. So if you have a chance to win something, that's even phenomenal.
And your sobriety is important to you and to your family, and that makes you the person that you are. But you also have businesses like ours that are members of the Tavern League. And our focus is how do we keep businesses that have been going on? I mean, we have some taverns that are, they've been in the organization for a long time. I think we're at 80, 85 years or whatever it is, something like that, 88 years or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Tavern League of Wisconsin, has been going, for forever. And that's another group that gives back. Spring, we did the draft in Green Bay.
Yep.
The Brown County Safe Ride program got with the NFL and Green Bay, and they managed making sure that everybody was taken care of, going from events to events.
Shuttles, coordinating it.
Everything.
Transport
I think they had 40 or 50 vans that they staffed with volunteers to move people around and stuff like that. It was a huge shot to the Wisconsin Tavern League, but it was also a huge shout out to the Brown County and the Green Bay Packers on how the Tavern League
supports
keeps
and
people
shows up.
safe.
Absolutely.
And, and maybe a podcast with the president of the Wisconsin Tavern League would be an idea as well. And then my last one, Wisconsin River Meats. They have a story kind of a lot like Stone Ridge. They were, was it 3 years ago now? They were in the middle of doing a huge expansion and had a massive fire and lost their whole processing. And they have fought back and they rebuilt bigger and better. And I do a lot of purchasing of like custom meats that I can't get myself, and they'll actually make my recipe for me so I can get a spicier andouille sausage, or I can get half chickens so if we're doing a grill out, I can do half chicken dinners. Or for Easter coming up this Sunday, I have 4 full shank double smoked hams that they make in-house. Oh my God. I think they're just short. 4 hams were just short of 90 pounds.
That's a lot of ham.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be eating ham until Christmas, I think is what's probably going to happen. But no, they do a lot, and they're just just west of, they're just east of Mauston, but they're
Okay.
right off of Highway 82 and I think HH. Once you cross the river there
Yeah, I'm familiar
on
with those bridges
82.
over by Mauston.
Yeah.
I used to be a
And
tow truck driver for Winnegar, so I'm
oh, there
familiar
you
with a
go.
lot of places.
But the thing is, they do a lot with veterans too. They are huge with the Iola Car Show.
Okay, yep, I'm familiar.
And and so I mean, I would reach out to Hogs for Heroes, the Wisconsin Tavern League, or Wisconsin River Meats
Really?
because they're all doing their part in their community, just like Ed's doing at KRB's and at the Moose.
It's awesome. Yeah, I definitely jotted those down, so I'll definitely reach out. It'll be probably hard to, maybe the Tavern League might be a little difficult, but maybe I can reach out to Brian or Denise and see if they can get me in touch with someone's phone number.
I'll get
No.
you. I'll get you his number.
Thank you.
I have it.
And then
So,
Hogs for Heroes, I can look them up. You said they're out of Oxford, right?
yeah, just type in Hogs for Heroes, and Kevin and Amanda would, they would love to sit down and discuss what they do because
Yeah,
it's huge.
Podcasting is kind of a new thing. I know, like as you're aware, being on social media platforms, like you got to get your face out there because otherwise you could potentially be missing out on some additional, spots in your house, the seats to get filled. Like it makes a difference.
I have been in Stevens Point, either at the Pick and Save, and it's a Metro Market up in Stevens Point, or I've been in town and people go, "Oh, I watch your videos all the time." I'm like, I have no idea who these people are, but
They know you.
okay.
But then they know where they can get some really good food and service, though. You know what I'm saying?
I get it, but I mean, I kind of do it more is to be fun and, let people know what's going on. Sure. That's the important part of the whole live is let people
Communicating to
know
your
what your
audience, too.
specials are, what's going on, what events. But some of it's just to be, to have fun with
Right.
what I'm doing. You put in the hours, you show them you're making a soup, or you're down at the lake because he's in Cancun. I know I can go down to his house and sit on his deck and he ain't gonna say nothing. But he will respond online going, "Nice deck,"
Right.
I'm like, "Shut up, you're not here," so
Someone's got to appreciate it.
yeah. But I mean, Crystal and I are so fortunate enough. Our family keeps us going. My family, my mom, and my siblings, our kids. We've got 3 amazing kids. And then we've got our staff, and then we've got this, and 2 dogs and 3 cats. I mean, we can't leave out the dogs and cats. I mean, it's like
Fur babies.
yeah, fur babies. My wife,
Fur babies.
I said to her, I said, maybe we should put a fence up across the road. And I says, we could raise some cattle and I don't have to worry about cutting that grass because I don't have time to cut grass. She goes, so then what happens? I says, well, come fall, we send them to market. Absolutely not. Them are our pets. So the farm's out, no farming.
Can't do that.
I have old dying steers that we should have ate 6 years ago, but nope, they're pets. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Well, Doug, I really
I
appreciate you
appreciate it.
taking the time, man, and jumping on
Thank
the
you.
show today. I think that this will be a great episode. I'm going to get this one edited. This one will be out before the end of the day. So keep an eye out for that. I'll tag you in it. I'll tag the business in it. And then I'll
thank
also
you.
be posting the photos that you shared with me in the comments to kind of give a little bit of, visuals for some of the history, the historic aspect of it. But
Well, and that's all come to us through some of our past people that have lived on the lake. They going
shared.
through boxes of stuff of their mom and dads, and they're finding these old pictures of the lake and from the cottages from the backside. I mean, some of them pictures going back, 50 years. So
people got to scan those, right? Because if those photos don't get scanned and backed up for digital copies, eventually those old Polaroids fade away and the memories are gone.
yeah.
And without those being scanned, that's it. It's just all up in here. And even
Right.
that fades away,
Yeah. And we've got some of the originals here, but some of the new ones that I just got, I'm going to see if I can get them digitally scanned in and add to we kind of got a wall right below the Yingling sign. It just says Wood Lake Resort on it. So
I have a scanner. I got a $700 scanner. I can help you out with some
it was
photos.
Wood Lake Resort long before it was Crystals. So
Right.
that history
It's rich.
is part of what this is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll get in touch with you about scanning those.